everyone, and welcome to day 10 of my ceramic residency in Arita, Japan. We had our trimming class last night, so I decided to start off the morning with some trimming. Before I start trimming, I had to turn on this big fan that sucks out the clay dust during trimming. I threw these pots off the hump last week and they are completely bone dry. In Arita, they trim their pots when it is bone dry and on a chuck, so I'm trying this method of trimming today. I have to balance my bowl on the chuck and use the square trimming tool to shave off bits of clay from the bottom. Because I threw off the hump, so I have a lot of clay on the bottom. I had to trim off more of the clay and to level the bottom. I found that I spent most of my time trying to balance my pot on the chuck because my pot kept getting wobbly and wanting to fall off the chuck. My teacher said it's because the inside of my pot is not flat, so it won't sit nicely on the chuck. It is quite frustrating because the only way I can hold down in place is to push down the middle of the pot using my fingers. It is a very different trimming experience compared to how I would normally trim on the wheel, but I'm keeping an open mind and trying to learn as much as I can from the teachers here. By the third pot, I felt that I got better at this method of trimming and I could balance my pot on the chuck. I'm using more time to trim using this method because every time I trim the pot, only small bits of clay dust are coming off, whereas when I trim on the wheel, bigger pieces of leather hard clay would come off. By the end of the third pot, I was already tired, so I decided to do some painting. I didn't finish painting the water lily plate from yesterday, so I had to finish that today. I purchased some purple and green Gosu pigment from the pigment store, so I'm trying these new colors on the plates. Purple is my favorite color, so I want to put purple on all my flowers and green on the leaves. This is already the end of my second week of residency, so I didn't have time to test the new colors on test tiles. I'm just putting it on my plates and hope for the best. Normally back home, I would definitely do test tiles, but things are different when you have limited time. My favorite part about this type of painting is that the paint will actually stay inside the pencil line. It is very therapeutic to watch. Many of my designs are inspired by the works I see in Arita. When I visited the Kyushu Ceramic Museum, I saw lots of ceramic items on display. The style of ceramics is different from region to region in Japan. I noticed that many of the Arita style of ceramics include intricate designs and they often include gold decorations. The blue and white designs on porcelain are very similar to the designs I see in Chinese porcelain. This is my attempt to do intricate designs on a plate. I try to just stay with white and blue colors, but I really can't help but use the purple and green colors because I really like to use colors in my work. During the first week of my residency, many of my items are only blue and white, so it will be a nice comparison to see the difference of adding more colors on my plates. Some interesting facts about Gosu painting is that the Gosu paint is made using a cobalt oxide recipe. I didn't know the exact recipe because it is a guarded secret by the maker. The paint itself comes in a paste and you have to dilute it with water before painting. You can mix your own shade of blue by adding more or less water to the pigment. However, the clear glaze will not adhere to the pot if there's too much pigment on it. So far in my painting, I have been using the same pigment. I can make different shades of blue depending on how much water I have added to the pigment. This paint is very stable and I have not had any blue color move or shift after glaze firing. In the kiln, they fire all the porcelain items to Kong tan in a gas kiln, and the color is still very vibrant. As you can see, the clouds on the left are lighter in shade than the veins that I'm painting now. After glazing all morning, the residency coordinator took us to this beautiful modern cafe called Lier Cafe for lunch. It has delicious pastry and I ordered coffee and pizza for lunch. Arita is in the countryside, so the outside of the cafe is surrounded by lush forests and mountains. After lunch, we visit some shops around the town. The town has many empty or closed shops. I'm not sure if it is because we went on a weekday or if that's just the case for the town. For the shops that are open, they all sell very unique and interesting items. For example, this specific shop, it only sells stationeries and papers. I didn't realize there are so many different types of paper you can choose from. After we got back to the studio, I went to pick up my items from the glaze kiln. These are things I painted and glazed during the first week of my residency. I did some chawanmushi bowls and plates. I just love seeing the different shades of. Then in the evening, they took us to a spot only the locals know about to see fireflies because it is the firefly season. I wish my camera can capture them better, but it was once in a lifetime experience. Anyway, that's the end of my day 10.